Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. It's absolutely fascinating how sometimes the launch of a single, everyday consumer product can act like a magnifying glass for an entire global corporate strategy. And today, we're looking at exactly that kind of event. We're going to start by zooming in on a brand new motorcycle hitting the streets in India, and then we're going to zoom all the way out to uncover the massive, multi-billion-dollar financial and philosophical machinery driving that release from boardrooms in Japan. Okay, let's dive into this. At first glance, this top-down shot of the newly launched FZ Blue Flex just looks like a sleek piece of modern engineering. But as we unpack this today, I want you to see this not just as a product photo, but as a physical manifestation of a very deliberate, high-stakes corporate mandate. As Yamaha Motor India Group Chairman Hajime Iota puts it perfectly, achieving carbon neutrality isn't about finding a single magic bullet. It requires a dynamic, multi-pathway strategy. This motorcycle right here, it's a rolling, revving piece of that exact strategy.
So here's our agenda for today. 1. Meet the FZ Blue Flex. 2. The Flex Fuel strategy. 3. The philosophy of Kondo. 4. The global financial roadmap. And finally, 5. Vision 2030 and beyond.
Section 1. Meet the FZ Blue Flex, the breaking news. Let's start by dropping right onto the showroom floor in New Delhi. This number is incredibly important. 1,244,240 rupees. That is the ex-showroom price in Delhi for the new FZ Blue Flex. Now, why is this a headline? Well, because this is India's very first 150cc flex fuel bike. And here's the absolute kicker. It only costs about 400 rupees more than its standard predecessor, the FZ RAV. What Yamaha has done here is take future-proof, environmentally conscious technology and made it remarkably accessible to the everyday commuter. They aren't pricing sustainability out of reach, they're dropping it right into the heart of the mass market.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is looking at the concrete engineering trade-offs required to make a flex fuel future a reality. You can't just pour ethanol into a standard engine without consequences. To make the FZ Blue Flex compatible with ethanol blends, Yamaha actually had to make some physical compromises compared to the standard FZ RAV. The tank capacity drops slightly from 13 liters down to 12. The bike gains a tiny bit of weight, bumping up to 139 kilograms. And because ethanol has a different energy density than pure gasoline, we see a slight dip in horsepower and torque. It's a really fascinating look at the real-world physics of sustainable engineering, sacrificing just a fraction of raw output to gain massive fuel versatility.
But despite being a mass-market bike, you can't just go out and buy one anywhere in India right now. The initial rollout is highly strategic. It's limited to select Yamaha Blue Square dealerships across just 6 states: Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu. And this isn't a supply chain issue, right? It's a deliberate infrastructure play. Yamaha is launching the bike exactly where E85 ethanol fuel is actually becoming accessible in the country. It's a brilliant example of a manufacturer mapping their product release directly to the reality of the local fuel grid. So we know what the bike is, and we know where it is. But let's peel back the next layer.
Section 2. The Flex Fuel Strategy, why E85?
So the crucial point here is that this 149cc engine isn't just meant to sip a little bit of biofuel, it is engineered to handle a massive spectrum, from E20 all the way up to E85, meaning fuel that is 85% ethanol. This directly aligns with the Indian government's progressive biofuel policies and their Viksit Bharat vision, which strongly promotes alternate fuels to reduce the nation's reliance on fossil fuels. For Yamaha, this isn't just about complying with local laws, it's a major pillar in their own global multi-pathway push toward carbon neutrality. It proves they aren't just sitting around waiting for a fully electric future, they're actively cleaning up the combustion engines we use today. But here is where the story gets really fascinating. A company doesn't just build a bike like this to check a regulatory box. There is a deep cultural ethos driving the engineering.
Section 3. The Philosophy of Kondo, the why behind the engineering.
If you take away literally only one concept from this explainer, let it be this: Kondo. It's a Japanese word that describes the simultaneous feelings of deep satisfaction and intense excitement that we experience when we encounter something of exceptional value. This is the golden thread running through Yamaha's entire corporate structure. Their engineers aren't just tasked with reducing emissions, they are tasked with making sure that even an eco-friendly flex fuel commuter bike still delivers Kondo when you twist the throttle. Above all else, it has to evoke emotion.
This philosophy is the very foundation of their famous brand slogan, "Revs Your Heart." Yamaha officially calls itself a Kondo-creating company. They believe that demand isn't just something you go out and find in the market. Demand is something you create by offering products that fundamentally enrich people's lives and bring them joy. So whether it's a grand piano or a commuter motorcycle, the goal is always to stir the heart.
Let's move to this timeline and see how this builds across their history. It proves that creating new markets to deliver Kondo is literally in Yamaha's DNA. It started way back in 1955 with their first motorcycle, the YA1. But look at their track record of pioneering sustainable tech long before it was mainstream. In 1993, they launched the PAS electrically power-assisted bicycle. In 2001, the Postle electric commuter. In 2014, the Wild Tri-City leaning multi-wheel scooter. The 2026 launch of the FC Blue Flex isn't some sudden pivot. It's just the latest chapter in a 70-year legacy of opening up entirely new mobility markets. So now that we understand the product and the philosophy, it's time to pull the camera way back and look at the immense financial engine making all of this possible.
Section 4. The Global Financial Roadmap, zooming out.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how a massive corporation balances its portfolio to fund innovation. Looking at their 2024 fiscal results, you can clearly see that the land mobility segment, which includes motorcycles like our FC Blue Flex, is the undisputed powerhouse. It's pulling in 537.7 billion yen in revenue and nearly 88 billion yen in operating profit. This massive cash flow is what allows Yamaha to experiment with new technologies, absorb losses in transitioning sectors, and heavily fund their research into robotics, marine products, and alternative fuels across the globe.
And when we say global, we truly mean global. Despite being deeply rooted in Japanese philosophy and manufacturing traditions, Yamaha's workforce tells a very different story. Out of over 54,000 consolidated employees, a staggering 70.5% are based overseas, outside of Japan. This is exactly why a localized launch in India matters so much. India isn't just a side market for Yamaha, it's a primary hub of their global workforce and production strategy. Success with the FZ Blue Flex in India sends ripples through their entire international supply chain.
All of these moving parts, the new models, the flex fuel tech, the global workforce, they're currently being driven by one massive aggressive target. As part of their new 2025 to 2027 medium-term management plan, Yamaha is taking on the challenge to achieve 2 trillion yen in net sales. 2 trillion, while also aiming for a return on equity in the 14% range. You don't hit numbers like that by playing it safe. You hit them by capturing massive, growing markets, like the commuter segment in India, and ensuring your products are perfectly aligned with the governmental and environmental policies shaping the future of those regions. So, we've seen the bike, the fuel, the philosophy, and the finances. What's the ultimate destination?
Section 5. Vision 2030 and beyond. The end game.
When you look at their official long-term vision for 2030, you won't actually find a sterile corporate metric. You find this quote, ART for human possibilities. Let's strive for greater happiness. Everything we've talked about today ultimately serves this singular goal. The transition to carbon neutrality, the push for E85 ethanol adoption, the relentless pursuit of Kondo, and the drive for a 2 trillion yen robust business portfolio, they are all viewed by Yamaha as necessary steps to create a sustainable world where people simply live in greater happiness. It's a remarkably human-centric endgame for a massive industrial manufacturer, isn't it?
Which brings us to our final thought for today's explainer. We so often hear that the future of transportation is entirely electric. Just a single solution for a global problem. But Yamaha is betting heavily that achieving true sustainability requires a dynamic, multi-pathway strategy. They're improving combustion engines with flex fuels today, while actively developing electric and hybrid tech for tomorrow. So the question I'll leave you with is this. As we race toward a carbon-neutral world, is a singular focus on EVs the right answer, or is Yamaha's multi-pronged, adaptable approach the ultimate blueprint for our global mobility future? It's definitely something to think about the next time you hear an engine rev. Thanks so much for learning with us today.